weeknight on the #1 newscast in the country, NBC's Nightly News with Tom Brokaw. Please welcome Tom Brokaw. What is this?
2 ticket stubs, opening day, Yankee Stadium. A little hooky today. That's the best I can do for you, Conan. I'm sorry.
Oh.
17-13 Yankees.
Oh, really? So these are useless to me now.
They were useless to you earlier because they wouldn't have they were my tickets.
Very nice of you, though, to come.
It's the best I could do.
It was very nice of you to be here. And looking very nice tonight, by the way.
As opposed to...
Well, you often look like a hobo. Just
right. A little homeless guy out there just outside of Rockefeller Center.
That's right. Have you ever thought about wearing something just insane when you do the nightly news, just to change things up, a beekeeper outfit, something weird?
Well, there were times during the ratings when I thought that might have been the last hope. And actually, before I moved from Los Angeles, where I used to work for KNBC out there, the NBC-owned station, I didn't own a complete suit because I wore kind of blue jeans and cowboy boots, and they only saw me from here on up. And one day I got a wonderful letter from a young man saying, you know, we'd like to see the bottom half of you. And we did a chroma key. We did a
Let's hear more about this guy.
We did a chroma key board, so I said, there is no bottom. And I walked off, so it looked like my entire upper half was walking off.
Just floating.
And when I left Los Angeles, I had to go out and buy actual suits to go to work in Washington, 4 or 5 of them, and brought them into my house, and a friend of mine was there and burst into tears and said, it's the end of Tom Brokaw as we've known him. The fact is he's going to have matching pants and jackets.
Right.
Grown-up time.
No longer the Marlboro Man look.
That's right.
I would say, I mean, because people laughed at that, but there are times in television when if the ratings go down for no reason at all, you know, just some glitch in the ratings, they start telling you that maybe it's the tie. Or there are famous instances of another newscaster suddenly wearing different sweaters every night to try and attract attention.
He did do that for a while, actually. Well, you know, it's funny because now at the local level, they do have consultants who go in and actually dress the anchor men and the anchor women, tell them exactly what ties to wear, what shirts to wear, what jackets to wear. I don't think I would have done well in that environment. My own strong impression has always been over the years that you can spend all the money that you want to on fancy suits and everything else. They only notice in the case of males your necktie. And I was, at the time of Diana's death, I was in Montana. I don't have any ties in Montana. And I had, by coincidence, a suit. Jumped on an airplane, flew to Minneapolis to get the connecting flight to London. Racing through the Minneapolis airport, I went to the tie rack, which is 9 ties for $12. Bought a handful of ties. Took them to London, had them in my suitcase, got them. These are not so bad looking after all, I thought. And I'm on the air on the day of her funeral. Westminster Abbey behind me. All the mighty have gathered. I'm on in my tie rack tie. Here in New York, we start getting calls. Where in London does Mr. Brokaw have his ties made? Those are fabulous. It was a real commentary to me about why I'm spending all of this money.
Right. Don't.
No.
Tell us, where is this tie rack?
The only problem is it's a little expensive to run off to Minneapolis to the tie rack at the airport every weekend to buy your new supply of ties.
I'll arrange it. I have a lot of pull with the network. I'm curious about something. You report, of course, on politics. And these days, things change so quickly in politics. The scandals and everything, there's constant change, and you're reporting on it. Have you ever been tempted to bet on it? You ever been tempted at all to bet on what's going to happen in politics?
Oh, there might be a friendly wager from time to time. Yeah, you know, that a few years ago, well, in 1980, it was fairly clear to me that in the closing days of the Ronald Reagan, Jimmy Carter race, that Reagan, having covered him in California, was always underestimated by the national press. And a young woman who worked for me came to me and said, isn't this amazing? She said, the idea that he thinks he can be elected president. And I said, yeah, it is outrageous. But for sporting purposes, you know, I mean, maybe for the morning after, we could have something to laugh about. Why don't you spot me 5 or 6 states, and I'll take Reagan. I'll do you a favor. Give me 6 states. Of course, Reagan won by one of the record landslides. She came to me the next day and said, lesson learned.
How much money was involved here?
A a dinner for four in New York, so it was just under $100,000.
Well, you know, I was thinking, it occurred to me today that you, as someone who is broadcasting the news, could actually influence events slightly. You know, if you owned a certain stock, say you had some GM stock, and you're reporting a story about GM, you could say, and of course, GM is in the news.
Right. It's,
and then go back.
it is a potential for conflict. We have, for example, very strict rules within NBC News about doing speeches for money. The rules are that you can't do speeches before organizations or corporations that have business before Congress. Or if you do, the money can't pass through your hands. You know, but sometimes a big bank will want you to do something, and they'll make it easy, and it's important to them for their clients. And you can say, well, if you send the money directly to a scholarship fund, and that's what you tell the vice president in charge of ethics at NBC, what he may not be aware of is it's your daughter's scholarship fund. But in fact, we're going to have you investigated, I think, now. Can you hang on for 1 second? We want to do a commercial break. We will have more with Tom Brokaw in just a second, so stick around. We'll see you in a minute.